Welcome to my channel. In this part, we will dive into the actual HTML code and start building your web development skills. If you haven't seen the first part, I will leave a link in the description below where we cover the basics and help you understand what HTML is all about. Let's get started. Before we start, I want to assure you that HTML is quite easy to learn. Understanding the tags and their purpose is simpler than you might think. Don't worry about memorizing each single tag right away. As you practice and work with HTML, you will naturally remember them. Just focus on learning the basics and the rest will fall into place. Let's get started with the header tag. Every tag in HTML have an open tag and a close tag, and the text between them is the text that is going to be displayed in the screen. Like you see here, there is 6 types of header tag, from 1 to 6. The difference is that the font size decreases as the header number increases. And that's all what you need to know about header tag. Let's go now to the paragraph tag and the pre-tag, which you can say that they have the same purpose, but with a small difference. Like you see here, this is a paragraph. I'd like to see its purpose just to write the paragraph that you want in the screen, while the pre, it's not like that only. You can see it the same like you see here, but with another difference, which is we can go to a next line. This is not going to happen in the normal P. Like you see here, the next line is just going to be next to it, while in the pre tag it goes to a new line. That's all what you need to know about the P and the pre tag. Let's go to the next one. The span tag. The span tag is just like the paragraph tag. It's used to display a text, but the difference is that it's used normally inside the paragraph tag, like this. We can write the paragraph tag and say this is, and nest the span tag inside it and write paragraph. And why we are doing that? Just because we want to apply something only for the paragraph word and not for the other words inside the paragraph with it. Like this, we can, for example, apply a color for only the paragraph word. It is going to have different color from the others. If we come to here and give a red color, like you see, they will have different colors. So that's how span is used normally. Now that we have introduced the span tag, you might be wondering about the difference between span and the p tag. Since both seem to display text, the key difference lies in how search engines interpret these tags. Search engines don't actually understand the text on your site the way humans do. Instead, they read the HTML tags to grasp the structure and meaning of the content. Each tag in HTML carries a specific message or role that helps search engines determine what the content is about. While P and span might look similar to us, they serve different purposes behind the scenes. The P tag is used to define paragraphs, signaling to the search engine that this block of text is distinct paragraph. On the other hand, the span tag is more of a generic container for inline text, often used to apply styling or to group certain text elements without conveying any specific semantic meaning to the search engine, like we see in the example that I gave. In summary, the real difference between these tags is in the message they send to the search engines, not something you can directly see as a developer. In general, in HTML, there are many tags that have the same situation as span and paragraph tags. You can differentiate between them directly, so just don't worry about them that much and remember what I have said. Okay, now the next tag is going to be the bold tag. And what it does is just like it says, it just makes the text inside it more thicker. And there is also another tag named strong, and what it do is the same as the bold tag, but only on the screen. So it's just like before between span and paragraph tags, that the difference can be seen on the screen. So what is the difference? The difference is that The strong tag holds a purpose, which is that it emphasizes the text inside it. So only the search engine can know that this text is going to be an important text. We have another tags that have the same situation as the bold tag and strong tag, which is the italic tag and the emphasize tag. Like you see, there is no difference between both tags, but the difference is from the search engine perspective. So what's the purpose of the emphasize text? It's just like it says, it just let the text inside it be emphasized and be important. So then what is the difference between it and the strong tag? The difference is that strong tag is usually used for the most important text, while the emphasized tag is used for the second most important text. So that's only the difference between both tags. We have now an interesting tag which is called anchor, and this tag is used to open a link for a website where you want. So you can provide the link of that website in the ref attribute with writing the link here, and then you can write a target attribute which is going to decide if that website, after clicking on the click here, is going to open in your current window or in an external window. So blank is going to open a new window for that website, or you can just write self that is going to be opened in your current window. And of course there is other options for the target attribute, you can go check them, but those are the main two options. There is also an image tag that is going to be used to view an image. So like you see here, the image tag differs from other tags. It has the close tag inside the open tag, something like this. And there is also the src attribute, where you are going to define your image. So I'm going to just write image.png, and like you see here, my image is going to be displayed in the site. Also there is an alt attribute which contains the text that is going to be displayed on the screen if there was something wrong with the real image. Let's say here sky image. So now if I go and write the wrong name for the image, the sky image is going to be displayed in place of it. We have also an ordered list, which is just used to view a certain list, and you can change the dots to numbers just by using the ordered list like you see here. In HTML we can create our own table using the table tag. Like you see here, I created my own table using the table tag, and then we go to the first tag inside it, which is the table row. This defines that this is going to be the first row in this table, and inside it then we define the th, which is used to define the column names inside that table. So we use it at the beginning of each table, of course. So that's why it's in a thick font. And then we create a second row using the tr again, and inside it we use the td, which is just used for the normal values that is going to be inside the table and under the column name. And you can just create as much as you want from the table row. We can create our inputs in HTML2 that will take an input from the user. To make that happen, let's create a form first. We'll return to that later. Let's focus now on the input tag, which will take a type attribute, which have too many options. You can check them later, but for now let's try the date, and like you see, a date input is created automatically. So there is also another tag that's called label, which is used to refer to that input that we want. To let that happen, we should first create for attribute and give it the value of the ID that inside that input. But this input do not have ID for now. Let's create a one. So let's name it date. We can return to here and put date. Now if we turn to the page and click on date, like you see, the input is focused on. So that's all about the input and label. Now let's return to the form tag. First, you should know that there's something called submission, and to submit your data you can first create here an input tag, and provide it with the type submit. And like you see here, a submit button is created. There is also another way to do that, which is by the button tag and providing it with the type submit also. And like you see, a submit button is created too. Now to submit your data, you can just click on the submit button and your data is going to be saved on the server host. Now most of the time you do not want that to happen. So form provide an action attribute which you can use to put your URL that will refer to a server or any site that you want your data to be saved on. So let's write here URL, for example, and then click here and it will take you to that server or site where your data is saved. There's still two other types of inputs. Let's first delete all of this. Okay, the first one is the select tag, and inside it there is an option tag, and you can write as much as you want from options using this tag. So if you return to the screen, you can see a drop menu of the options you added, and the user can select the one he wants. The other one is the text area input, which is just a large input text, and it can be controlled by the user from left to right, and it's normally used for descriptions or messages. We also have the semantic tags, which represents the main structure of the HTML code. Using these semantic tags helps improve the accessibility, search engine optimization, and overall clarity of your HTML document. First, we have the header tag, which represents the upper part of your site, and inside there is the nav bar, where the navigation buttons that the user used to navigate between your site pages. Then there is the main tag, which contains the main content of your site, and you can use the section tag to manage the main content. There is also the site tag, which represents the sidebar, and finally the footer tag, which represents the foot part of your site. You can insert your contact information there, for example. And that's it for this part of the HTML tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to know when the next video is out. See you in the next one.